I would go to the market with my book, a lot of, you know how markets are. I've shut off every other thing outside. What I'm hearing is the pages, the lines, the words. You need to tap me to come out of that word and then hear you jumping from one home to the other. I lived about 5 different families, a house help, carry baby. I went through a lot in the hands of my mother. So part of the reason was, at least this auntie said she would pay for your school fees if you're doing this and all that, so they'll send you out. We had cases where, you know, the family that said they will send you to school, you know, they later, you know, failed, they didn't send you to school and all that, and then you are just stuck at home doing all the chores. You didn't go to school, the children are going to school. I lived with, you know, 5 different families, different human beings. This person is good, you know, this person is, you think this person is bad, this person is worse, and all of that. I remember one of the experiences, we went to go to church, and I had these, you know, patches of eczema on my face. I had to, you know, look for something to blend it in. I went to the back of our house, so we cooked with firewood, with charcoal. I blended some charcoal, you know, applied it on my hand. Because you know how eczema works, the patches are usually very fair. When I came out, when I lifted my face,
I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce my guest today on the show. I have someone that is very close to my heart, a friend, a sister, a companion, a colleague in the Impact Highway, someone that I love and respect so much. You're going to get to know more about her as we get into the show. I'm talking about no other than the CEO of Solaris GreenTech Hub. If you've heard the name Chiemela Anosike before, then you know that she's a powerhouse. When it comes to green tech energy, she is one of the topmost in Nigeria and heading to Africa and of course to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, help me make welcome my dearest friend. Chiemela, it's so good to have you on the show.
So much.
So it's been 2 years that I've not seen Chiemela in person, but we talk like every now and again, like we talk like we live in the same neighborhood, but it's been 2 years that I saw her, and after when we met, I just knew that this is an incredible powerhouse woman. She's got a lot to do in the business world and all of that. She's going to share a lot of that, but today we're going to start from her teenage experience. So we're going to start looking at what her journey has been, how she got to this place that she is now, that we are admiring. All right. So let me first of all get to know you. So give us just a background of who you are.
Oh, okay.
Because I know there are a lot of things I didn't say. So feed us all of those.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Just like you said, it's been a long time coming, and we should have seen, like, you know, so many times, and then.
But she kept doing me with you. But it's all good.
But yeah, I'm super excited to, you know, to do this with you. So,
here.
Just like you said, my name is Chiemela Anosike. Yeah, Chiemela Miracle Anosike. I prefer Chiemela Anosike. And I'm the founder of Solaris GreenTech Hub. So Solaris is, we're a renewable energy company, and what we do at Solaris is we're trying to bridge the energy gap that exists in Nigeria and across Africa. Of course, we are well aware of the energy crisis, the energy problems we face in the country, and but there are also a lot of energy solutions in the market trying to solve that problem. But one of the things we discovered is that for a particular set of persons, so we're targeting those at the bottom of the pyramid, those in rural, peri-urban communities that are disconnected from the grid, they still can't seem to afford, you know, those available energy solutions in the market. So we are creating solutions for them. So Solaris at the moment is playing majorly in the micro energy sector, so providing, you know, affordable energy to this particular set of persons. So I have a background in social sciences, so I am not an engineer. So, you know,
you have to put that caveat. Okay, tell us more.
When people hear what I do, they expect it to meet, an engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical electronics engineer. Yeah, but I'm not an engineer. I'm just in the business of engineering. But I love engineers a lot. I always say this. I love engineers a lot. I refer to them as gods because, come on, think of anything your eyes can see. The chair, the cup, the cars, the cameras, the bridges, the roads, they are made by civil, mechanical, electrical, all manner of engineers. So they think of ideas, they bring it to life, they build it and all of that. So like I said, I have a background in social sciences. So sometime in 2019, that was when I had my encounter with engineers. I did a training, couple of trainings, completed design, completed manufacturing. So that was when I did the transition to engineering. So it was with, my first training was with Clinton Innovation Center in Aba. So I enrolled for this training and then I got into, the world of engineering and it was super amazing. Like it was, super. It was a lot to take in, and it was really, really amazing. I was exposed to a lot of machines, a lot of engineering, design softwares, machines, 3D printing, CNC machining, laser cutting, and the rest. And after the time,
and it sparked something. Because I even see the expression in you. It started a journey, right? That brought you here.
Yeah. So,
amazing.
so part of what we did during the training was, so there was a soft skill component of the training where, so the training was sponsored by Paint Foundation. Shout out to them. They helped me start out this journey. Paint Foundation Partnership Initiative in the Niger Delta is an NGO. So there was a soft skill component of the training where you're acquiring this technical skill, but of course you also need the soft skills. So where you go through problem solving skills, you're building problem solving skills, analytical thinking, critical thinking, and all of that. So we had projects to do. So the instructor comes this week and tell you, look at the sectors in Nigeria, look at these sectors, different sectors. Think of, maybe education sector, health, and all of that. What are the problems you can see in that sector? And how do you think you can solve them? So, group project assignments, and, nobody wants to carry last, so we are hustling, we are
working pretty hard.
So you come up with a problem, and then, but the most beautiful thing is that you come up with this problem, and then you present it to the group, everybody is analyzing it, and then this little problem, this small problem you thought about, we're thinking of solutions. How do we solve this? How do we make this better and all of that? At the end of the day, we create a design for that problem. So let's say is a problem in education, for instance. How do we make learning effective? How do we make it fun, engaging for children? And we are saying, okay, fine, let's create STEM kits. Let's create, kits around, things children can use to, practice Bo's law and all of those laws. And then at the end of the day, we have a design. And then we are 3D printing the design. And you're seeing the idea. Like you can touch it.
So from being just a thought to becoming a product.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so sorry, I'm going to cut in there. Okay. You're already taking us into the business world. And that tells you, if I leave Chiemela here today, in the next 2 hours, she won't be done. Because she's such a business guru. And she can tell you, take it all through the processes. But I'm going to cut in there and then take you back the memory lane.
Okay.
I hope you're ready to go with me. So I want to take it back the memory lane because now you're an adult. And by the way, she's married with an amazing daughter. That happened to be my goddaughter, by the way. So she's married and she is no longer a teenager. But I want you to take some flashback. Let's look at your teenage journey because, this is P&C show. And it's primarily for parents, for teenagers, and by extension, the parents. So we want to look at what was your teenage years, because so long as I'm concerned, you are a success in the making, right? Yeah. A good part of your life, your adult years has been spent as a successful entrepreneur. Challenges notwithstanding, right? So let's look at how did your teenage years play out. So we're going to look at the good, the bad, the ugly. But first, let's look at the ugly so that we can use the good to console ourselves. Yeah, so let's look at the...
Oh, okay. So my teenage experience, my teenage years. Whew, is a lot, but yeah, we'll do this.
Summarize the a lot.
So I didn't have I don't have so much, of course, but you know how people say you can make out lemon out of lemonade out of lemon and all of that.
Yeah.
I didn't have so much beautiful experiences and all that.
Okay.
Considering family and all. So I'm the 10th. I'm the last child. We are 10. I have 9 other siblings plus me, 10.
Wow, that's a long queue.
So I don't always tease my parents that they give birth to beautiful children, and then they now use their
The last strength.
their last strength to have me. So, but yeah, that's on the lighter note. So, of course, just like every other average normal Nigerian family, things were so well. So I did a lot of jumping from one home to the other. So I lived with different homes. I think I lived about 5 different families.
Wow.
So I think along with some of my other, siblings. So, the Iba boy, I have some of my brothers go for boy and all that. So us now being the female, you go to this auntie's house.
Like a house help kind of thing.
Yeah, house help, carry baby, like a nanny sort of, the way they do it. And of course, you know the common thing, the common thing with the Igbo,
Settings.
Igbo settings, not Igbo settings, Igbo madams and how the streets they are made. So I experienced a lot of that. I don't even want to go back to all of those memories. A lot of them. So I think one of the primary reasons they were sending us out was, of course, we were so many, 10 is a huge number.
Yes,
and then we even had cousins and relatives still living with us. So everybody just scattered. So part of the reason was, at least this auntie said she would pay for your school fees if you're doing this and all that. So they'll send you out. So we had cases where the family that said they will send you to school, they later, failed, they didn't send you to school and all that, and then you were just stuck at home doing all the chores, they didn't go to school, their children are going to school. I went through a lot in the hands of my mother.
Talk about 5 different families. I mean, you almost would lose your identity because now you don't even know, am I living by the standards of family 1
exactly.
or family 2? And each time you need to make a mental adjustment.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of you.
So it's a lot. I think it made me become more adapt. I can actually adapt to anything because it became a second nature. I can sort of like a chameleon, so not in a bad way, but I can actually,
adapt
to this and all that because I lived with, 5 different families, different human beings. This person is good, this person is, you think this person is bad, this person is worse, and all of that. So I think at about 13, 14 or thereabout, I came back to my family. So at that point, so we had the last experience was terrible. This man would beat me to pulp. She would beat me. I won't go to school. It was really bad. So at that time, my elder sister, she, of course, I had grown siblings. So one of my sisters came to visit one day, and I don't know how she traced, the woman's house. Of course, she should know. She came to the woman's house outside. I was beaten to pulp. I don't go to school. I haven't eaten. All those horrible things. So my sister was so mad. She was so mad. She said, I left in the clothes. I wasn't even properly clothed. She just took me like that. We left. Got to the house, she dropped me. She told my parents, said, you should never send this girl out. I had all the wounds and all that. Wow. So that was the last.
That was the last time you left the family.
Yeah, that was the last time.
So would you say that was the worst of the experiences? Or maybe one of the worst?
Yeah, maybe one of the worst. It wasn't really the worst. Yeah, there are more scary ones than that.
Okay.
So whenever I hear stories of, Igbo madams mistreating, housemaids and all that, and then most times, even without verifying, of course, I love to verify facts. I just believe them because of my experience. People are good. People
So
are good.
let's just say people are good.
Yeah, people are good. People are wonderful,
All
wonderful,
right.
wonderful creatures. So
Okay.
that was it. I came back to the house, and there was no more going out for me. So at that point, my mom said, "Okay, fine." Um, she's a local trader. She goes to all these village markets, buy goods and all that. So after I came back, that was when my hustling started. So of
Okay.
course you have to make money to feed, make money to pay your own school fees, make money and all of that. So I
So
came
you're
back,
a
I joined.
co-breadwinner. So you suddenly skipped your childhood and you became. I mean, that's what it is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So that was it. We came back, my sister and I, and then one of my brothers. We became, so my mom goes to the market, she buys those bush market, buy those stuff, come back, and then we'll take it back. So we'll go to school. Of course, we're going to attended a government school, Ohabiam Girls Government School. So we'll go to school, we'll come back, and then we'll take the goods, plantain, vegetables, and then we'll go to Samek Market, sell, come back late, 8:30, 9, past 9, and all that. But that was it.
I just made a mental connection to something. So you said you were selling plantain. So is it okay if we say that Chiemela is the plantain seller that has turned into a CEO today? So we have a musician, a very popular musician that say he's a plantain seller. You guys, I won't tell you the name of the person. Anyway, so I am excited. The reason is that what you went through didn't break you, because there are a lot of teenagers that went through such, and they'll be like, you know what, let me find a way for myself, let me find a way out of this tunnel, let me find a way out, I can't be here. They can get into several vices, they can get into the wrong hands, they can get into
Yeah.
the wrong company, and before you know it, their lives are going downward spiral. So I'm glad that happened. But let me also let's look at the good parts. So is there a way that all of that, because of course all things works together for the good of them that love God. So was there a way that contributed to who you are today? Because now we're talking about the good. So let's look at the good part of the entire, circle.
Okay, so of course, I would say that most of those things I went through, most of those experiences actually contributed in a good way, in a bad way. Most times I hear people say, "This things actually built us." This things built us. It didn't break us, and I wouldn't entirely believe that, because most of the dysfunction, most of the way we react, most of our attitude that can actually be traced to some of those things we experienced. So
Absolutely.
you have to consciously start working on them. Start healing from the ones you can heal from, all those traumatizing experiences and all that. So I'm still going through that journey, of course. I started, taking responsibility to, heal and all that. But on the good part, yeah, I would say yes. It made me become very resilient and very strong. So I could remember, I was actually a very good. I was an A student.
Okay.
Yeah. And so to think of someone that will just come back from school, like just come back from school, say 2 o'clock, then at Ohambiam, 2 o'clock we are done from school. Blessing days, 3:30. So you're back from school 3:30. You just pull off your school
Uniform.
wear, and then they already packed your plantain and vegetable on a very big tray. On a very big tray. I know my,
Yeah.
my mom, before you even leave for school, she'll tell you, come back early and all that. So I'll come back, we'll come back immediately, and then you leave for the market, and then you come back, say, past 9 p.m.
Wow.
And then,
As a
and I was,
teenager.
yes, and I was still an A student. So, so how did I do that? I remember I used to go to the market with my books.
Whoa.
I built this skill that I can read. I can read in a space. I can read in this room with the roof falling off. Everybody going mad and gaga.
Oh my
Everything
goodness.
collapsing in.
Yeah.
There is a volcano. So there's this story I read. There's this story I read about the description of peace. So the story says is a particular king in the village he had, of course, wealth, influence, and all that, but he lacked peace and all that. So he wanted to get to know the real definition of peace. So he brought in artists to make sketch, anyhow define. He needed a description of what peace is, what it looked like. He wanted that for himself. So, a lot of artists came in, they painted, I think one painted a very beautiful, cool evening, sunset environment behind the beach, the birds are flying, all of those, very peaceful environment, the sea, the pillows and all. It was just peaceful and all. And then one drew a baby, how an infant sleeps peacefully. I don't know why people say infants, babies are peaceful. We'll get back to that. They're not peaceful. So, and then a particular artist drew a picture, very captivating picture of a mountain. At the peak, at the top of the mountain there was volcanic eruption. And then had a sea. I don't have the full description, but had a sea, and there were waves, very rough waves. A lot of things were going wrong, volcanic eruption, a lot of things and all that. And then just at the mountain, there was a little crack. And then just inside that crack was this bird that had his babies. And the babies are just looking up to their mom. What's the mother of a bird called now? They're just looking up to the mother bird of the mother hen. And that was what the artist described as peaceful. And, he caught the attention of the man, the king, and he was like, how does this depict peace? And he made a very striking description, a very striking statement in describing that. He stated that peace is not the absence of chaos and all that. It's a state of mind. So it has to come from inside out. That was one of the skills I picked, one of the things I learned. I'm peaceful. I have this thing from the inside out that I can concentrate and do what I want to do, even if every other thing, beside me, because everything literally beside me was falling apart.
Exactly.
Everything was falling apart. So for me to go through all of those things, and then I was still, as a child, I was still, doing some of the things I was doing. It had to come from. So I made that peace inside. I had to resolve that inside of me. So the things going on around me doesn't really affect what goes inside of me. So I don't allow them to get in. So that was one of the most important skill I picked from that, ability to quiet, noise from the outside. And then just maintain this inner voice, on the inside. So I would go to the market with my booth, a lot of, how markets are. So once I'm done with my stuff, I'll just be reading through the book. And people tell me, what are you, do you even understand? How are you able to read in this, noise and madness? I've shut off every other thing outside. What I'm hearing is the pages, the lines, the words.
Wow.
So I have this third person. It's as though there's this third person are reading to me. And that is what I'm hearing. You need to tap me to come out of that word and then hear you. So I had to pick that. And then another reading skill I picked was, the one we are conversant with, soaking your legs inside water and all of that. But yeah, so those were some of the skills. Those skills are life critical skills that I picked, during those period. Then you used to see that there's this Igbo adage that says, "Membe meburu nwatakịrị wụ ọzụzụ." So So I picked lessons from those things. Your children are watching television, playing. I'm the one doing all the tasks in the house, multitasking, and I'll still have to read. I'll still have to do this. To you, you felt
Maltreating me.
you were maltreating me, and babying and pampering your children. You were building me. Like, at least I nobody told me that I would be heading a company. Imagine, imagine being an entrepreneur, running a company, and a lot of things. I'm juggling motherhood. I'm juggling a lot of things, and all that. I needed those skills.
Yeah.
So to me, those were the good parts. The
Okay.
things I learned in the process, the skills I built, the resilience, the tough skin I built. No, they're not so good. Maybe it became so tough. But yeah, the tough skin and all that. Yeah.
I think I like that thought line because, I mean, a teenager could be watching this show who is saying, you don't know what's happening to me. You don't even understand half of what I'm going through. So this is your reminder that whatever has happened to you, you can work something out of it. It's possible that that thing is happening to you, but the flip side is also true. It is happening for you. Because few years down the line, you'll realize that those skills, those experiences would be helpful. They are not palatable right now. And I'm not even saying that they should happen to you, right? But it is that you believe that somehow this will work out for good. You don't have to work yourself into trouble, but if you're already into trouble, believe the best for it, right? And then learn the lessons you can, learn the skills, develop the thick skin, right? Because tomorrow you might be needing them.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask you the final question.
Before the final question, please, I want you to ask her, during this period of hawking, children are usually abused, boys are disturbing them, men, all those stuff. So how did you manage that situation?
Okay.
Is it necessary? Is it on point?
Okay.
So they usually fall into temptation like that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm curious as to how you went through those years of experience, because I've shared my story over and again on social media, how I was a garri seller, how I was hawking garri for my mom from school. I would come down to the shop, get some bags, sell until it's time to go home, right? And I remember that I escaped rape during that period. I ran into situations where people were asking me out, all manner of ugly experiences. So I'm curious as to your own experience, because now that you're a plantain seller, or you were a plantain seller, so how did you navigate all of that?
It wasn't so easy. I think is common, is a very common experience, and these are common occurrences. Exposing children to, let's say, the streets, and then how
Too
people
early, without precautions,
without preparation, without, and that type of streets is not even the normal street. Is a street filled with lions. So so it was pretty rough, very rough. In fact, at a point, I always fall back to the tough skin. I remember early those days, one of my sister's friend, let me not say boyfriend now, because we're just messing around and all. This particular boy will come, and then I'm always frowning. I'm always angry. I'm always frowning. You know how things happen to you, and then you just become an angry person. You're not smiling. You're not laughing. You're just attacking. You want to attack everybody that comes
and you do that from
an
unconscious state.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I remember him telling my sister, because she told me. He said, "This your sister. Your parents should just go and enroll this girl in a military school." Because I've never seen her, like, all the while I come here, she's always angry. Like, she looks like a bitter person. She's always angry. She's always this. And in as much as that wasn't really who I was, that wasn't really, my person. I smile a lot, I laugh a lot and all that. But I had to put out that front, because imagine you're in a market with thousands of people, and then, so at the point, my mom was joining us in the market. At the point, she stopped. So it was just my sister and I. I was just barely 14, 15, 16, and all. And you have all those, both pedophiles, those guys and all that. There was this common thing that usually happen where where you go to watch movies or songs or wrestling. So there was this guy, those early 2002, 2003. Those guys that push truck that has big television. They also
Yes,
sell
inside
movies
the
and
truck.
inside the
So they
truck. They have
sell
small
CDs
generator.
and cassettes.
Exactly. They always put all these interesting movies, Jack and Chain and all, and then you just sit there and watch for hours. And then you have adults, men. They see a child, you're in front, and then they'll stand behind you, and then as you all
Why
are
am I
watching, as you all are watching, you are carried, you are carried away.
Yes.
Your spiritual body is inside that television. You don't even know what is going on behind you. So it has to take someone else to. So they just stand behind you, and then they are rubbing their genitals
body.
on you, and then they are touching you and all that. And it's crazy. A whole lot of that happened. And I wouldn't
Sorry,
say
I'm
okay.
going to cut in here. Not like into the camera, I get cut in, but mention people, those people that you said got pregnant, but don't need to mention their name, that you remember a few girls that you were selling with, like 4 of them got pregnant, if you can remember. Yeah, so just mention.
Okay. So like I said, the environment is very wide to expose children, teenagers to and all that. And you have a lot of persons making advances at you, young, old, ugly, fine. Nobody is ugly, I beg. And so I remember a couple of us, a lot of us go to the market together, sell together and all that. There was always cases of tomorrow you hear that, this person has gotten pregnant too. So everybody's always looking at you. So there was this woman that had issues with my mom, and then she told her that she's so sure that all of our children will get pregnant, especially my sister and I, because we are the one you come
selling.
doing the selling. So she was so sure that we'll get pregnant before we finish, because every other person was getting pregnant. Tomorrow you hear that, this person got pregnant too. But it was a prevalent thing, like it was very common. And then the market is situated. We have, if you know Samek Market, area, there is Shoe Plaza, there is Bakase, there is, is a male dominated.
Exactly.
So at night, everybody is hanging out. You just leave your tray of plantain, and then you escape. They will look for you
To meet the love of your life.
to meet the love of your life.
Oh, wow.
They will look. There are times. So we had this clique. You go to the market to, we go together. Mostly we'll come back together. So you wait for. You're looking for this person. You will wait and wait and wait and wait. When she's done with the love of her life, she'll come out, and then we'll all go together. So they will time. I was the tray keeper, because I'm always with a book. So they know I won't go anywhere. I will look after their trays.
Interesting.
So I was their tray keeper. If you want to go, just go and drop your tray with Chiemela. Just go and drop your tray with me. They'll stack the trays. I'll look at it. Whenever they are done, everyone comes out, and then we go. So it's rough. It was a pretty rough experience. Wide. We had to put out a front. You became angry. Somebody touches you. You behave. I can't say this was a particular thing that made me distinct or different. I could say, God wanted it to be that way, because I was exposed to a lot of wildness, a lot of, I want to say this, I'm tempted to say this in Igbo. How people say, when your job now, man, you were exposed to a lot of
all of them.
those things, the good, the bad, you saw them, at that very early age. You saw those things and all that. So I think it took the grace of God to shield me from partaking, from experimenting, from, because, oh my God, we're hearing a lot of horrible experiences. A lot of, I think amongst that, someone would, abort a baby. People were doing a lot of horrible things, but
So God preserved you, because honestly, that's all I can say. If you were in the midst of all of this and here you are today, then God definitely preserved you. So if you are a teenager watching and you're thinking, how am I supposed to survive this storm? Just know that there is a testimony sitting in front of you who went through that rough pattern, is here today, and you too can. So what advice do you have? Okay, before the advice, you're going to advise parents and teens simultaneously, but I want to look at a part of teenage years experience that teenagers struggle with, and that is self-esteem, body image. Did you have such? Chiemela, you're such a pretty girl that sometimes I ask God, how, like, God, what was our own crime? How come one person is this fine? Look at your nose. Have you taken the time to look at it? Like then your brows. Chiemela did not rub. There is no makeup. Like she literally just rubbed powder. There is no. She didn't do eyeliner. But look at her. A beaut. So a beaut and more. So were you always like this? So why I'm asking this question is because I remember there was a time you shared with me stuff, right, about your teenage years and how you struggled with your facials and all, and how you struggled with acne, and also a teenager could be watching this who is saying, "Look at you, your own is even fine. You have seen my face." So let's address that a little bit.
Okay, so about that, I wasn't always this, beautiful. I don't know how to put it. I've always been myself, but I haven't always been this. In fact, I think up until just 3, up until SS1, I still looked like a boy.
Whoa!
I literally had no breasts, no. nothing. I still look like a boy.
Okay.
So I need to wear skirt for you to,
That's almost unbelievable. But let me believe you.
Identify me as
Okay.
a girl, and I think I started hitting puberty pretty late, sort of, and I looked like a tomboy. So, like I said, I wasn't always like this. I experienced a lot of things, a lot. I know I battled with eczema a lot.
Okay.
Eczema, pimples, rough. So I think it's during this period, you're an adult, you now understand you understand your body, you understand how hormones work, you understand, you're studying your cycle, you understand your cycle and all that. You know that, some things can actually contribute to this stress, changes in cycles, hormones and all of that. But then at that very young age, nobody taught you these things. Nobody. I know. I learned about menstrual cycle and period from my mom, warning my sister that now that you're seeing your period, if you go to any man, you get pregnant. So I took I heard it.
You learned it from proxy.
So I took it that I heard it that way. So nobody took time to tell you this is
There
what
was
is
no sex
happening.
education.
No
There was no puberty class.
No class. Nobody will tell you, this is what is happening to your body. These are the changes you see and all that. I remember battling with the eczema. A lot of persons would attribute it to being dirty. You don't bathe well. People will mock you and all that. And then whenever they see those eczema patches on your face, they'll be like, it's dirty and all.
So did it affect you in any way?
Of course. Of course. I remember one of the experiences. We had to go to church, and I had these, patches of eczema on my face. I had to, look for something to blend it in. I went to the back of our house, so we cook with firewood, with charcoal. I blended some charcoal, applied it on my hand. Because you know how eczema works, the patches are usually very fair.
Yes.
So I rubbed it in, I applied it, to
so that to blend.
To darken
the other parts.
The parts, make it even with my skin. The other part of my skin, did all those. It was when I came out, when I looked at my face.
She won't recognize her daughter.
And I didn't, you know how you just, did something and then you want to, in my small mind.
In your mind, you are now okay. You didn't know that you worsened the matter.
I came out, when I looked at me, she said, what did you apply on your face?
So is it possible that there are things that teenagers do today that in their senses, in their thoughts, they are okay, they are good. Decisions they make and they think it's okay. But they don't know they're being stupid, really.
You know how they say that your brain doesn't develop fully until you're about 20-something.
Exactly.
Especially the decision-making part of your brain. So that teenage, you don't think things through. Something just enters your head. And then boom.
You go and do it.
You just want to do it. That is why it's very important to have, these other adults,
Yeah.
an adult in your life. to
Trusted
guide you,
adults.
a trusted adult
Yes.
to guide you, do this, no, this is not right. Don't do it this way.
Yeah.
And most of us we didn't have that. Any male trusted adult wants to touch body, it was a common, thing then. So it really affected my self-esteem. My mom asked me to go and wash my face. I went and washed everything off and then came out with all the patch and all that. I remember I applied hydraulic. I think it was also common then. You apply hydraulic. That's
Yes, I get it.
chemical. It's very irritating. You put it there and then you want it to go by all means. I don't know what it was. I will bait. I don't know what was, causing
So,
the eczema and all.
Of course, I think that should have been just something that comes with growth, right? And then
Yeah.
probably something that, if at all there was something to be worried about, you should have been taken to the hospital and then proper check made to know, okay, is this a skin thing? Is there something that triggers it? So that if you just leave or stop doing those things that trigger it, will stop it. You don't need to fight. You don't need to use
Yeah.
charcoal or hydraulic and all.
The thing is, why are you going to the hospital when you're not sick? Even when you're sick, there's a chemist who will treat you. So
Exactly.
When you're going to the hospital, who's going
Exactly.
to see a dermatologist because you have eczema, small eczema? But it was it was occurring frequently.
So I think the least thing that we can do is to have a mentor, right?
Yes.
Because even if you have a mentor, because now if a teenager is going through this same thing and comes to you, you know what to tell them.
Of course, yeah.
So if you don't have money for hospital, at least have someone that you are speaking to, someone that you run your ideas through.
Yeah, even to have someone tell you that this is fine. This is nothing bad is happening to you.
Exactly.
You're not dirty. It's
Yeah.
not because you're a dirty person or so, To have someone tell you that all those pimples and, all those things is not because you're dirty and all that. It's growth.
It's natural.
These are things you need to do. Okay, just wipe your face with a clean towel and all that. To have that, you are just alone and battling with your, all those things. Yeah.
All right. I think we're gradually coming to the end of this show, and I'm super excited having this conversation with Chiemela. Finally, I'm going to ask for you to give a word of advice to parents and then to teenagers. If you have 1 minute to speak to parents, to speak to teenagers, what are you going to tell them?
Word of advice. I think everything you do, everything you're doing now adds up. It adds up.
Yeah.
So think of your life like I know I mentioned initially that the part of your brain for decision making is not fully formed, but with the part you have, you can still make very sound informed decisions that will affect make or mar your life. So think of everything you're doing as a stepping stone, as blocks you're building up to your life, to whatever you become in the future.
Yeah.
So I would advise that you make the most of every of them. Focus on the things that are very important. This was also one of the things that helped me. I had to, channel my energy towards the things that are very important for my growth, for myself. I took out a lot of things that are very necessarily important. I know some of the things that, it's called, some persons call it youthful exuberance and all that. Those things that you want to do. You want to make hair, you want to do this. So I went to a government school where we don't even put on earring. And then you save your 50 naira to buy food stuff, 20 naira to buy food stuff. I remember one of my teachers, Mrs. Oku, she would tell you see this earring that I'm always throwing away. You see this your hair that I always use scissors to cut. You plait here and plait here and plait here
and get tired.
You wear a ring, you open every part of your ear, you get tired. You wake up one day, you drop the earrings yourself. So there are times and seasons to things. There are times, it's very important we understand that most of these things that you want to do now, leave it for later. Focus on what is important. You need to build capacity for tomorrow. That is what is very important. Most of the things that I went through built, capacity in me for whatsoever I'm doing now. Every other thing is an add-on. Every other thing is an add-on. The hair, the clothes, the fine, everything is, you can do that any other time. Like you have massive time to do that. but focus on building yourself, focus on learning. Listen to your parents, listen to trusted adults, pick lessons, read, study, focus on your academics, focus on your future. Every other thing can come later.
Fantastic. So that's for teenagers. Let's have you talk to parents, but make it brief this time. So let's have you talk to parents. What one word do you have for parents?
Okay, so for parents, I'll say this. Your teenager is going through changes, lot of changes. They are not rebellious. I know I was called names. I was booked for deliverance. At several occasions, I was tagged stubborn. I was tagged a lot of things. My mom felt I was the stubborn. I was the black sheep among her children. But your teenager is wired differently. All of you, because your first child is calm and quiet, doesn't mean the second or the third will be this way. You need to learn to understand your children. They're not rebellious. They're not witches. They're not wizards. They're just going through a lot of changes. A lot of hormones, a lot of things, are happening at the same time. So I would advise that you get to learn your teenager, be more accommodating, listen to them. They want you to reason with them. Stop arguing. I knew part of the things my mom was doing then, and I would not agree. You would not agree. All of us would not agree. So I'm not saying that your child should, disobey and all that. But of course, those are the changes that come with that particular period in their life. Be more accommodating, listen to them more, try to understand them more, and of course provide for their needs so that they don't get to provide for themselves and then become an adult by force. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, it's been an amazing time. It's been a great time having you on this show. Thank you, Chiemela, for coming. And if you've been following up until this time, I want you to realize, like she said, if you're a teenager, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to develop capacity. I got that really so well. Develop capacity, because you're going to need it in the near future. And if you're a parent, connect with your children, love them, empower them so that they can become the people that you want them to be. Right. Thank you so much, Chiemela. It's been an amazing time having you. And I hope you will come back again.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully. Thank you. You want to follow Chiemela everywhere across. So I'm going to ask her to give out her social media handle, personal and official, so that you can see the beautiful work that she's doing for Nigeria in the tech industry.
Across the social media platform, I'm Chiemela Anosike.
Okay.
Chiemela Anosike. Mostly active on LinkedIn, Facebook. Then company Solaris GreenTech Hub across all social media platforms. Yeah.
All right. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and be a part of this movement that is becoming the best thing that will happen to families. Thank you for staying till this time. See you again in the next episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Chiemela here, who moved from selling plantain on the streets of Aba to becoming an international global figure, traveling from South Africa to Germany to Italy to... Where have you been? Chiemela today goes everywhere, but she started from selling plantain for her mother. So we're going to do this plantain seller dance. Are you ready to dance with us? Chiemela, you should dance more than me, because now you said the plantain. Me, I sold garri.
Maybe I'll do the plantain dance. You do garri dance.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, let's go. Okay. I'm following you.
You follow me.
Okay.
Those are just cool.
Okay.
I didn't know this part was going to come. I would have worn my dancing shoes.
Rehearse your dance.
I would have come with my dancing shoes.
So we can do something more like...
Okay.
It's been amazing having you.